everybody. I would.
Hey there, Melissa, are you here? I can see you, or I can't see you or hear you. I just see your little square in here. Oh. Hi there. Sorry about that. You were frozen for a minute. How are you? Can you hear me, Melissa? Can you hear me? So sorry about that. My internet was being very funky. Hi, how are you? Can you hear me?
Good.
Oh, good. There you are. Yay. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. Which piece would you like to play for your performance?
Waltzing Alone.
Okay, awesome. And how's it been going for you?
It seems pretty good. I think my biggest issue is timing.
Okay.
Okay, so hang on, here we go. Try to turn this up.
Sure, thank you.
No. Okay.
Hey, that's awesome. You're doing a great job with that. So that, this piece is in 3/4. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1. And you really are getting that waltz feel of it. I very strongly felt your beat 1, and I felt the half notes being held for 2. So all of that was actually, your timing is really good. Are there dynamics in your score? So like the pianos or the mezzo fortes?
Mezzo forte.
Okay, perfect. And just mezzo forte, nothing else?
Nothing else.
Okay. Well, you're doing really well, actually. You played it note perfect, and the rhythm was also really good. Do you feel okay about it?
Yeah. I mean, I've been fiddling around with other music, like from the internet. So I sent you the music in an email just moments ago, not knowing what we would be doing. But so if there was time for the performance, because you said that we could prepare 2 pieces, but
I'm gonna look at it right now. So here's the music we're hoping to perform. Oh yeah, very nice. I know this. I've taught this 1,000 times. You want to play it for me? Yeah.
Sure.
Okay.
Okay. Why does it sound off?
So just double check your starting note. So we want that first note to be B. That's the note right below middle C. And then the next note is E. There we go.
And that's as far as I got.
Nice. You've got the first part of the theme. I like that. I think this is a great idea. You're also, once you got situated on the correct notes, you're playing this accurately. The rhythm is good. The notes are all there. So if you want to do this for the performance, I think that's a great idea.
Okay.
Yeah, cool. I just had a student actually play this in my last private studio recital. Good. You're doing great. Do you have any questions about this one?
No, I just like on the flats and the sharps, I had to look those up though, since since we haven't been taught them, and I don't know the black keys, but I mean, but other than that, so that was just kind of some pure memorization, but
Sure. The good news is we will be covering.
other than that, no. Oh, okay.
Yeah, so hopefully there will be some connections made, but you are doing them correctly. So good job. Nice with that. Okay, great. Well, I'm going to put you back in the main session then, and then I will see you in a little bit.
Okay, thanks.
Okay, nice work. Bye. Hello, how are you doing?
Here we go. All right.
Okay.
Finally got my computer set up.
Perfect. This is great. Well, which piece would you like to do?
I was going to try doing Minuet in G.
Okay.
I had some questions about the notations on that one.
Sure.
I know it's not stuff we've covered in, not all of it we covered in class yet.
Yeah.
So I was wondering about the like line connecting from the top staff down to the bottom.
Yes.
And then also I think I know what the sharps are, but I just wanted to confirm.
Sure.
Helps that I know the sound of the piece, but
right
now.
So the lines that are going from the top staff to the bottom one, those are slurs, and they're just showing you to play legato between the hands. So as your melody moves from the right hand down to the left hand, you're just going to make sure that all of it is still legato, even though it's different hands.
Okay. And then I guess on the topic of hands too, I wasn't sure what to do with my right hand because the left hand notation goes up into like above middle C.
Yes.
And I'm like, oh, you're not supposed to go up there, left hand. So what?
Yes. So it does occasionally. It does.
Do with your hands.
And that's
okay. So I just like. Sorry,
yeah, your left hand is just right. It's in a position where your thumb will be above middle C. And so you just play that note with your left hand because it's written in the bass clef.
Okay.
Yeah.
Those were my questions about notation, I guess.
Do you want to play a little bit of it for me?
Oh gosh.
Make sure you're on the right track, even if it's just a little bit, the first few measures or so.
Let's see. I didn't practice it today. Okay.
That's good. Hey, you're doing a great job. You're on the right track, actually. That's sounding really good. Your notes are correct. Your rhythm is correct as well. So you're doing it beautifully. So keep going with it. Oops, there's our timer. Have you made it to the end of the piece?
Yeah. I mean, I'm trying to, make sure that I have the first few parts solidified, but it's kind of nerve-wracking playing for somebody else.
Of course, yes. And you're doing great though. So just know that you are on the right track. Everything that you're doing is correct. So keep it up for next week.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you.
All right. Yes, I'll see you later. Bye. You can just click return to the main session.
I don't see that.
Oh, wait.
Oh, here we go.
Okay. Hi, how are you?
Good, thank you.
Good. What are you going to play?
Okay, so I have a little bit of a issue. For next week, I am going to be actually out of town and not next to my piano. So I'm not sure that I won't be able to perform that night. I was going to message you all earlier. I wasn't sure that we were gonna do everybody on the same night, so that's why I was like, oh, okay, I'll message them soon. So where I should go from there.
So a couple options. One, I mean, you don't have to do the performance. You could also, I'm not sure when you're leaving town, but if you want to record a video, you could just send me the video and then I can share it on the screen. And I don't know if you'll be able to attend class or not, but that way, if you're there, it'll be like you performed and then people can still make comments and things like that. So that would be an option if you would like to still participate.
Okay, yeah. I'm leaving on the 3rd, so I feel like that should give me enough time.
Okay.
So I've been working on actually something different.
Okay.
I've been actually working on the Beauty and the Beast every day, but I was thinking that to do something kind of simple that will kind of get me through this time, I could do Ode to Joy. Ode to Joy.
Yeah, perfect. And then maybe Beauty and the Beast, are you going to work towards that one for the last one?
For the last performance?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Yeah, it seems like I'm gonna need a lot of practice for this one, but
oh yeah, it's
I do think that I could possibly do that by the end of the class.
Yeah, why not? All right. Well, do you want to play a little bit of Ode to Joy really quick?
Sure.
Okay.
And I wasn't sure because on here they show both of your hands. Are you supposed to use both of them to play it?
So you let me open it really quick. I believe the first line is going to be one hand and then the next line is the other hand. I just don't remember which one is which. Let me pull it up. So the first hand, oh, actually, yeah, so you can play this one with either hand. So the right hand finger numbers are above. See how it says RH3, and then the left hand finger numbers are below. So you can play it with either hand, and then if you want to make it a little more challenging, you can do it hands together.
Okay, all right. So I will go ahead and play this.
Nice, that's great. And just for time, I'll just have you do it that way, but that sounds really, really good. You've got all the notes, you've got the rhythm. That's awesome. If you want to work towards doing it hands together, you can. Or if you want to do it like once with the right hand and then repeat it with the other hand, you can. Otherwise, what you did will be just beautiful. Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say, it doesn't sound as good with the hands together. Oops. Well, I guess, yeah, I don't know. What do you think? Both of them together, or I'm up for either?
I mean, if you like the sounds better of it hands alone, I would just do it hands alone then.
Okay,
Then you'll
sounds
be
good.
inspired by how it sounds. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Nice work. I will see you back in the main room here in a little bit.
Okay, thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Oh, and you can just click return to the main session.
Oh, where is that? Leave room. Oh, leave room. Okay, bye.
Bye. Hi there. How are you? Oh, I think you're muted, but I can see you.
Sorry. Hi.
Okay, hi.
Hi.
What
What was that?
Oh, I said, which piece are you going to play?
Oh, I was thinking I would play Minuet in G.
Okay, cool.
And can you see and hear okay?
I can see you for sure.
Okay.
I hear you talking, so yeah, that's great.
Okay. Oops.
me, that's awesome. You've done a good job. The notes are all correct. The rhythm is spot on. I think that's going to be really, really wonderful for next week.
Thank you. Pretty good. Couple stumbles, but just keep going and it's fine.
And you did that beautifully. And those stumbles, I mean, you can tell those are just in the moment stumbles because it's very obvious you've been practicing this piece.
Sure. Thank you.
Yeah. Do you have any questions?
I don't think so. So it's, how's the tempo? Should it be faster or slower?
I think that as long as that felt comfortable to you, that sounded really nice because it's a minuet, it's a dance, so we don't need it to be super, super fast. And so I felt like you kept a really nice pace.
Okay, great.
Yeah. Thanks. All right. We'll keep up the great practicing. So you can go back to the main session. Oops, that's our timer. And I'll see you here in just a minute. Okay, bye.
Bye.
Hello.
There. Hi.
Good. How are you?
How are you?
Good.
Good enough. I just came from my cello lesson. So
Oh,
that's always
so the musical evening.
yeah, it makes me feel like, wow, I'm really doing music.
Good, good. Well, which piece did you decide on?
The minuet in G. Okay, so I mean, I can play the piano, but I think I'm just starting because I love the way you guys are teaching. So
well, I'm excited to hear you play it
because it's very long.
because it's very what?
Okay, so I looked at it 5 minutes ago. So
Okay.
let me there it is.
Well, we'll just
I will
make-
have to scroll because I haven't printed anything out.
That's
Here.
We'll just make sure you're on the right track.
Okay. Oh, I can't do that because I have to look at the music.
Oh,
Sorry.
that's fine. I can just listen. All right, well, you've been hiding your talents. That's great. You've got it all. You've got the correct notes. You've got the correct rhythm. You'll be just fine. I mean, for just looking at that, that's going really well. So for the next performance, you'll have to pick something more challenging.
Yeah. So I have a beautiful book of, I think it's just Bach pieces. Anyway,
Oh, good.
when the kids were little, I used to sit at night and just play through that, and I haven't done it in a long time. So I'm going to get that book out again and see if I can just begin to remember some of those songs.
Good. Okay, good. I like it. Well, the minuet is sounding awesome. You've got it. So I don't think you need to be worried.
Okay.
Okay, cool. Keep it up. All right, you can return to the main session and I'll see you there in just a little bit.
All right.
Okay. Bye.
Leave room. Got it.
Okay.
Leave breakout room.
Hey there, Kathy. You're muted.
Unmute. I'm like, oh,
Good.
hello. Good.
I like your sweater. That's pretty.
Oh, thank you, Amazon.
Oh, it's very colorful. It's really nice.
I know, because that's the only place you can shop right now. So,
Yeah, totally. How's the playing going?
it's good. I'm remembering a lot.
Good.
So somebody in the other room was saying, I don't know if you were there or not, but like, it's not that I remember that that's a D, but I remember the flow of the fingers to, so I may not know that that's a D or an F, but I know that that's up to, you know, and the fingering just like comes back. Like, it's like riding a bike.
That's
kind of
great. Yeah, it's that muscle memory that just starts to come back. That's awesome.
Exactly. So one thing, I'm doing minuet in G, but it says to start on a 5 on your lower hand, and that is just unnatural for this piece. For me, is it okay if I change it?
Yeah, you can
So
change
both
that.
your thumbs are on middle C, because otherwise you're actually extending and you're overlapping, and that drives me crazy.
Okay. Yeah, you can change it as long as it feels comfortable and as long as you're still able to play it. That's totally fine.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. All right. I gotta lower it down. I figured this out yesterday.
Oh, good. Oh, this is great. Yes.
Now, if it just stays exactly like that,
Okay.
like balanced. So, yeah.
Hey, nicely done. The fingering that you're using looks totally natural. That's fine.
Okay. Because I was like, why would I start it on a 5 and then you've got the F sharp that.
And then you have to stretch and it's kind of awkward.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Your notes are perfect. Your rhythm is awesome. I think if you keep working on this, you're going to be so set for next week.
Okay.
Awesome.
All right.
Keep it up.
All right. All
Okay,
right. Thank you.
Back in the main room soon. Well, hello there. How's it going?
Okay, how are you?
Good. What did you decide on?
I decided that I stink at this whole thing. I'm not sure.
No, you don't.
I'm pretty sure.
You
I
have to
don't
play
know.
at least a
Maybe.
few notes for me so I can see if you really do stink.
Wait, what?
I said you have to play at least
I'll play-
something for me so I can see.
Okay.
What is it?
Can you hear? Can you hear it? Can you hear it?
Yes, I can hear it perfectly. And I
Does
am
it
not
sound normal?
I'm not your daughter Ashley right now. I'm just your teacher and you are exactly on the right track. It's perfect. You've got the notes, you've got the rhythm. I hear like a tiny bit of hesitation just because I think you're like it's weird to play for another person, but you're doing it exactly right. You're doing it
Okay.
exactly right. So if you just keep working at it a little bit, it'll feel more and more comfortable and it'll flow even a little bit better. But even if you were to perform it just like that, that's awesome. That's great.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, then I'll do that one because that took me a long time because I didn't know
Okay.
what it was supposed to sound like. Also, I have a question.
Yeah.
Happy birthday does not sound like happy birthday.
Okay. Then maybe
So like
we might want to go over it then.
I was like, this should be super easy. But like it has a sharp on it, and then there's no sharp marks at all.
Oh yeah. So sometimes like, hang on, let me pull it up. If it's in like the key of, does it have one sharp?
I don't know.
Oh.
I mean, I don't know what key it's in. I don't know anything. Here, I'll show you.
Yeah, hold it up. Oh yeah, it has one
It's-
sharp in it, which means it's in the key of G. So it ends on a G, but you don't actually play any Fs in the piece. That's why the sharp is there, because it's telling you the key signature, even though you're not actually playing any of the F sharps.
So you never do like a sharp.
Yeah.
Okay, that
Yeah.
makes sense because I was like,
Yeah.
it doesn't sound right if you play it.
Okay.
Okay.
Well,
Okay.
let's in tomorrow or the next day let's FaceTime and you can play this one for me and I'll help you with it.
Okay, and this Canon and D, a complete bust, not happening.
Okay. Well, I'll help you with that too.
I couldn't even write all the notes down. I think
Well,
I
that one
gave
is
up.
really challenging, but I will help you with it and you can learn it.
Okay, and then this Elton John thing, no.
We have not learned those yet. Stop.
I was like,
learning the pieces we haven't learned yet.
okay, I was like, yeah, I don't even,
Yeah. I will help you with those.
I've been doing Minuet in G, Waltzing Matilda, another fave,
Good.
and Brahms Lullaby, which is great.
Good. Well, stick with those for now. We're going to learn the other ones next week. Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right, good. Because I don't have them all printed.
Oh, yeah, that's fine. That's fine.
But I'm going to Amber's. What?
You're doing awesome with the Minuet in G, though. What were you going to say? You're going to?
Amber's tomorrow. I'm going to take my laptop. Possibly I could print for next week.
Oh, perfect. Okay, cool. All right, I'll see you back in the main room.
Okay.
You can join the main room. Okay, love you. Bye.
Okay, love you. Bye.
Hey, Tracy. So, Mom, you have to do like exit breakout room or join the main session or something like that. Okay, bye. Yeah.
Hey.
All right, how's it going, Tracy?
Good. You saved me from this exercise. It's weird to me. I've never done it.
Okay, good. I'm glad I could rescue you. What
Like maybe she'll chime in right now, and you did.
Oh, good. Saved by the bell, if you will.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
What piece are you gonna do?
Well, okay. So here's the thing. We went on like a little mini vacation this weekend.
Yeah.
And then news to you, since I really haven't talked to you, I'm actually pregnant. So.
Oh, congratulations.
So when I was trying to squeeze in my practice today, I actually did a little bit and then I had to take a nap.
Oh, get that. I get that.
So I did pretty good with the Waltzing Matilda. However, like I'm looking at the Minuet in G and my ability level, want to challenge myself, wants to do the Minuet in G.
Yeah.
So if I can play the Matilda for you today, but then maybe work on preparing the Minuet, that would be ideal.
Yeah. So let's just hear the Matilda. We'll make sure you're on the right track, and then you can absolutely prepare the Minuet in G.
Okay.
Okay.
Cool. Oops. Sorry, let that one go.
Hey, that's awesome. That's sounding really good. You've got all the notes, you've got the rhythm accurate. So all of that is great. And I think based on how comfortable that seems, you're totally good to go on and try to challenge yourself with the Minuet in G.
Yeah. Oh, is that your timer already?
The timer. But does that sound like a good plan to you? Does that feel okay?
Yeah, totally. I mean, the amount of time I put into that, I could achieve this if I just work a little harder.
Okay, cool. And then if you end up needing, more rest and you don't get a chance to do a Minuet in G, you already have Waltzing Matilda. And so that's ready to go.
Exactly.
Okay, cool.
Yay.
Well, it's great to see you. I'll see you back in
too.
the main session in just a little bit.
Okay.
Okay, congrats.
So are you canceling this one or do I have to exit out?
So you have to go, it's not return to the main session, it's like leave breakout room, I think.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Ready, go.
Okay. See you soon.
Oh, there it is.
Hello.
Hello, how are you?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm doing pretty good.
Good.
Got a little fussy, so I don't know if she's gonna let me play.
I understand. Well, how are you doing with the practice?
I think I'm doing pretty okay. I've mostly been using the app called Scoov.
Okay.
You know about that one?
I don't actually. What
So
is
Scoov, it's an app that I guess contracts with Williams.
that? Okay.
At a Legato 3, which is a Williams brand, and they have like multiple apps, and one of them is Scoov. And basically what it does is it plays, or it helps you play pieces by listening to your notes through the microphone. So it shows you like a piece, and then it won't move until you like hit the right note, right? And so there's like multiple lessons like that, and you get longer and longer pieces of songs.
Cool.
And so that's mostly what I've been doing, and I find it really helpful. Like I'm playing both hands now, and like learning to like do one thing with one hand and other thing with the other hand, which is really throwing me off, but I'm doing it.
Good. Oh, I'm glad to hear that. I know of another app like that, and those are one, they're really fun, and they can also be really, really helpful. So I'm glad to hear that. And are you feeling like, are you going to do the performance? Do you want to do the performance?
Yeah. So that's the thing. I haven't really quite chosen a piece. It's just that she doesn't really let me play for more than 6 minutes, which is why the Scoov is so helpful, because she can tolerate like me playing up to 10 minutes and then she's crying, right?
Totally. How old is
but I haven't quite found a piece yet, so I was just planning on like, doing the longest lesson that's on Scoov, which is like 3 minutes of playing or like a minute of playing. That's what I was planning on doing, just part of a song or something.
Well, that sounds good. So if you're comfortable with that, then it sounds like you're on the right track. And if you want to send a video throughout the week, if you get a chance to record yourself, if you want me to check in with you on it and say, yes, you're on the right track, that's sounding awesome, I'm happy to do that. Otherwise, we can just plan to hear you next week if you're able to do it.
Okay, well, I'll try a little bit now. She
okay.
seems to be happy with oranges, so I'm just gonna give her some pieces and put her down and see how she does.
How old is this little one?
She's 1. She just turned 1.
Oh, cute. I have an 18-month-old.
Oh, yay!
So you probably hear her.
You understand.
Yes.
All right, she is distracted with the orange, so let's see if I can get this up and running. So hopefully it's not too loud on the app, but I can't like see the notes unless it's on, because it'll switch the page, right? And I'm gonna get nervous, so hopefully I don't mess up. All right. And that's how much that one had.
Hey, that is awesome. That's sounding really good. Yeah. Your rhythm is great. Notes are perfect. And you are coordinating the hands together amazingly well. That's really, really good.
All right. Yay. Thank you. I've been trying.
So I think if you even want to do that one next week, that would be super fun. Or if you want to do a different one, sounds like you're getting some good work done.
Okay. Awesome. Thank you.
Keep it up. All right. I'll see you back in the main room in just a few minutes.
All right. Sounds good.
Bye.
Right. Do I just do something to get out?
Yes, sorry. So you have to click leave breakout room.
Okay, I see. All right.
All right, see you later. Hey there, Jason. How's it going?
It's good. I was a part of another class and then you chimed in.
Yes. So, you weren't there at the beginning. So everybody's in the main session and I'm doing little individual breakout rooms to just check in about the performance and hear you if
okay.
you have something to play or just at least answer any questions you have.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
I'm spending 2 minutes with everybody.
So now I'm on the spot.
Yes, sorry. So if you know what you want to play, I'd be happy to listen and let you know if you're on the right track, or if you just want to tell me a little bit about what you're doing, that can work as well.
Uh, I have been, so I pulled off some music on the internet.
Okay.
I've been practicing my notes and stuff. It's very basic. I'm sorry.
That's fine. That's totally fine. So what is it?
It's Jingle Bells.
Okay, great. Well, I would love to hear Jingle Bells if you'd like to play it for me.
Okay, are you ready?
I'm ready.
Oh boy. I was practicing more for class and I was kept messing up and my wife kept encouraging me like, you can do it, you can do it.
Good. Oh, I'm glad to hear that.
Okay. But I was trying to get to, the half notes and the double eights. So okay.
Yeah.
Whew.
All right.
Okay, my palms are sweating.
I know. Just take some deep breaths. I'm just here. I just want to make sure you're on the right track, and I'm here to help you if you're not.
Okay, let me turn this up. Can you hear that?
I can. That's great.
Okay. Whew.
You can do it.
Dang it.
Nice. Jason, that's awesome. You're totally on the right track. You've got the correct notes. Your rhythm is really solid and super spot on. And it's very apparent that you've been working on this piece a lot. It's not, these little tiny, tiny things that are happening. That's all they are. They're little tiny in the moment things. You haven't learned anything incorrect. So I think that you're going to be really great next week if you're willing to give it a try.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Everybody's going to make little tiny mistakes like that. And we always we are our own worst critic. We hear them because we're the ones that have played it 1,000 times.
Right, exactly.
Everyone else will not even notice it because no one else has even been working on Jingle Bells. So it's going to be great.
Okay, thank you.
All right. So I'm going to close the rooms. If you want to click leave breakout room, then I'll see you back in the main session.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. See you soon.
The lecture here. Oh, actually, it's back. Wonderful. But I just wanted to show you a couple musical markings in action here. So we remember how we talked about eighth notes here. So this is an example of seeing eighth notes against quarter notes. We have our treble clef and our bass clef, and we have a dynamic, which is, what is this dynamic? Piano, right? Piano is soft, right? And then you can see all musical terms are in Italian. I'm going to go ahead and spotlight myself here. And so not only are dynamics in Italian, but so are all other musical markings as well, like crescendo poco a poco, which is Italian for grow louder little by little. Or you can see here a tempo, which is Italian for back to the original tempo, right? And here we have grown from, crescendo just means to grow louder, so you grow from piano to a fourth.
Hey there. Sorry about that. I think at some point I invited you and then I didn't know if you were coming, but it looks like I accidentally put you in the wrong room. I'm sorry about that. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. Which piece did you decide on?
Waltzing Matilda.
Okay.
I have no idea if that's how it's supposed to sound, but you can let me know.
Yeah. If you want to play it for me, I'd be happy to let you know.
Okay. Right. This is quite the progress from where I started, but here we go. Now, should I turn it up? I'll turn it up. Okay. mess up there.
You're doing great. Nice. That's great. So you're doing a really great job. You've got a good sense of the rhythm, which is awesome. You know, dun 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 dun. You're doing a great job with the rhythm, and you're doing a really great job with the melody notes. And did you add some other hand notes?
I think that's all it is.
Okay.
That's so I wrote it on my sheet
Yeah, let me see.
because just to make it easier. I don't know if that's
And can
close
you-
enough.
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah. Perfect.
Yeah, so I don't know if I
Yeah,
did that right or not.
you did. And
And then
what do you have written in the very first measure of the piece?
I have E, 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 E with a C resting.
C
I don't know
resting.
if you can.
Yeah, there's your
Right.
Okay, good. Yeah, and in the left hand, you don't have to play anything in that measure.
Oh, I've been playing C on all of them.
Yeah.
Well, mostly C.
So that little rest,
Okay.
little square in the left hand, that just means that your hand is resting. So you don't actually have to play there, and that should make it a little bit easier. So that's what I was hearing. I was hearing a note in there. But in those measures, like the first 3 measures, it's just the right hand. And then
Okay.
the next measure, it's just the left hand. Does that make sense?
Got it. Does now.
Okay, good. So if you fix that, I mean, that's the only thing I heard that was a little bit different, but otherwise your rhythm, your notes are spot on. I think you're on the right track for next week.
Okay.
Okay. Cool. Great work. So keep up the practice. Yeah, and if you don't have any questions, we can go back to the main room.
I don't think I do. I did want to mention that I'm using my phone,
Okay.
and I don't usually hear like the videos that you guys play. I'm not sure why. So maybe that's why I missed. Maybe I did miss going into the breakout room because I went to YouTube to watch the video.
Got it. Okay.
And then we were working on the drawing piece, and so I was like into so.
Okay. Yeah, no problem. No, not at all. That's really good to know that you can't hear it on your phone. Maybe we'll try to include the link or something so you can click on it and make it easy. So
Cool.
All right. Well, I will see you in the main session in just a minute.
Okay.
Okay. Bye.
Thank you.
Yep.
Bye.
All right, so I'm gonna just call on you guys randomly here, and let's see if you can tell me what notes are what. All right, so first of all, let's see here. Melissa Mir. What is this called?
Treble clef, but I don't remember the name of the symbol.
Yep, it's the treble clef. That's all it is. It's just the treble clef.
Okay.
And the treble clef is where basically all the notes around middle C and above reside. So when you're reading notes on the grand staff, basically we are all the way up to the top with middle C and up. And it looks like Ashley's back, so I'll make this review really quickly here. And then we have our bass clef here, right? And let's see, I'm gonna call on some people to read these notes off. I was just figuring out how to do the cool circles earlier. Now I can't remember how to do it. So I guess you guys get to read stars for notes. Okay, what note is this? Kathy Allen.
That's a G, A, B, B.
B. Everybody play the B on their piano. What note is this? Find the B. It should be the B above middle C. All right. Jill McAllister, what about this note?
That is also a B.
But where is it on the piano?
It's a C below middle C, and it's just below that.
Yes, exactly. So though they are both C's, they are very different B's on the piano. So it's going to be, if middle C is here, we have to go 2 B's below middle C. And that is the B that we would play. Let's just do a few more and then we're going to get started because Ashley's all done here. So what note is this Asta?
E.
Beautiful. Good job. We have E. Go ahead and find it on the piano. All right. How about this one, Jason? What note is this?
That's a F.
Beautiful. Good job. All right. And then Melissa Young, what note is this?
A.
Good. And then Anya, what note is this?
G.
You got it. Great job. All right. So let's go ahead and take a look at half steps and whole steps. Okay. So a half step is the distance from one key to the very next key, regardless of color. And a whole step is 2 half steps. So let's go ahead and see if you can find, go ahead and find C. And now we're going to go ahead and go up a half step. So from C to C sharp, or this black key, this is a half step. A half step up from this black key to this white key is a half step. This is a half step. This is a half step. This is also a half step. So a half step is a note closest to the right or to the left. Exactly, just like Ashley's pointing out. All right, so a whole step is 2 half steps. And so let's go ahead and see what that looks like on the keyboard. So if we are on C, we're going to go ahead and go up a whole step to D, and that is going to be a whole step, right? So that is a whole step because we have a half step and a half step, so boom. All right, give us another one, Ashley. All right, so we got G, and then we've also got A. This is a whole step, right? Half step, whole step. All right, now this is also a whole step. So if you go from C to this black key to this black key, this is a whole step as well. All right, and now we can also have a white key to a black key here. So we have E, and then we have this black key because this is a half step, this is a half step, which then creates a whole step. All right, so I am going to go ahead and call on you real quickly and see if you can name whether this is a whole step or a half step. Ashley, is this a half step or is this a whole step?
Half step.
Beautiful. All right, let's see here. Yesenia, is this a half step or a whole step?
Whole step.
Beautiful. You guys don't even need. All right, so what is this? Let's see here. Tracy, half step or whole step?
Half step.
Good. All right, and let's do this one. Do this one. Jason, is this a half step or a whole step?
Whole step.
This one is actually a whole step.
I said half,
did you say
but it's a
whole step
whole.
or half
Okay.
step? Yeah, so this is a half step. Yes, exactly. You got it. All right, awesome. So let's go ahead then, if you guys are feeling good about that, to talking about a sharp. A sharp looks like a pound sign or a hashtag, and it basically means to raise the note up a half step. So sharp would be from C. If I said play C sharp, you would go C sharp. So I'm going to go back to the previous slide here so you can really see what we're talking about. But a sharp means to go up a half step. So if we're here and I said play C sharp, where do you think that would be? Boom, be right here, right? Because that's a half step up from C sharp. If I said play D sharp, that would be D sharp. If I said play G sharp, you would go here. If I said play B sharp, where do you think I'd go?
E.
Did you say C as in cat?
Yeah.
Nice. Yes. So a sharp is either is always going to be a half step up, right? And it could be a white key or a black key. All right. So let's go ahead and take a look at the next accidental sign right here. We have a flat, and that means to lower the note by a half step. So anytime you see a baby b, a lowercase b, it means to lower the note by 1/2 step. All right, so if I were to go back here and say, all right, where is B flat? Here's B, here's B flat. Here's A flat. Here's G flat. Here's F flat. And this runs into an issue where it has to do with spell note. We'll talk about this in a moment, but a note can have 2 different names. And the fancy word for that is enharmonic equivalent. So you can have 2 notes that have the same name or the same sound, but they have a different name. And we'll get more into that, so don't get too freaked out about it. But I want you to know that B flat exists and A sharp exists. And it depends on how you approach the note and how it's written on the music. All right, so we've got a sharp, we've got a flat, and here we're going to go ahead and learn our first scale. So let's all find middle C. Okay, so we're going to take our right hand and put it on middle C, and this is our first C major 5-finger scale. So you're going to take your first finger and put it on middle C, and you're going to go C, D, E, F, G. So we're going to play that together. C, D, E, F, G. So we're just going to go up and down the scale using 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Once you've got the hang of that, then I want you to go ahead and sing with yourself the finger numbers to start. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And then you're going to sing the note names. C, D, E, F, G, F, E, D, C. Try that out a few times. And then I'm going to go ahead and move on to my left hand because you can't leave him out of the equation. So now we're going to play our next 5-finger scale. Pentascale, 5-finger scale, it's all the same. So we're talking about the same thing. Right now we're working on our C major pentascale or our C major 5-finger scale. So here we go. Now we're going to try with our left hand on the C below middle C, otherwise known as C3. It's 3 C's up from the bottom. So we're going to take our 5th finger and we're going to go ahead and play 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 on C, D, E, F, G. Okay, so you're going to try that a few times. Saying the note names C, D, E, F, G, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, right? And then you'll do it up and down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, or C, D, E, F, G, F, E, D, C. And then what you'll do, once you got the hang of that, is you'll put it on both hands. So you'll take your right hand and put it on middle C, and then you'll take your left hand and put it on middle C. Now, that's what it looks like on the staff here. And I'm going to go ahead and spotlight myself so you can see my hands. Hold on just a second.
I just spotlighted you, Steph.
Thank you. Now I need to figure out how to move my screen down. I don't know where that went. Oh, there we go. Thank you, Ashley. All right. So we're going to go ahead and take our right hand and place it on middle C. Then we're going to take our left hand and place it on the C below. And then what we are going to do is play them at the same time. So we'll play C, D, E, F, G, F, E, D, C. And the finger numbers won't match up, so it's not as easy to say that as the note names. But as you're practicing, I want you to think about playing these pentascales hands separately first, and then you're going to try them hands together. C, D, E, F, G, F, E, D, C. So go ahead and try that together if you haven't already done so. And try to make them as legato as possible. So you're just working on making it smooth and connected. All right. Would anybody like me to explain that more? Or does anybody have any questions? Okay, awesome. So let's just keep it rolling here then. All right, so we have our C major scale here, and this can actually be transposed. So transposed just means to put it on another key. So I'm going to let Ashley get into this more in just a moment, but what we're going to do also, after we play our C major 5-finger scale, is play our D major 5-finger scale. So let's start with the left hand. We don't want to leave him out. So we're going to go ahead and find G just below middle C, and we're going to start with finger 5. And you'll go 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, but this time we're playing it on G. G, A, B, C, D. So this gives us a G major 5-finger scale or a G major pentascale. And down the road, we're going to realize, oh my gosh, I can play major scales on every key. And if I can play a major 5-finger scale on every key, then that means I can play a major chord on every key. And that means you can basically play every pop, rock, and jazz song in the world, and classical. So these 5-finger scales, even though they sound simple, unlock a whole lot of awesomeness. All right, so we're going to also take our right hand now and put it on treble G. So you'll play C, G, A, B, C, D, and back down. So we've got our right hand playing G major. And I'm going to go ahead and show you what that looks like when I put them together here. So let me see, show you here. All right, so we got our G, oopsies. So we go G, and we go right hand, left hand, and then we're gonna put them together. So, get your hands all placed. 5 on G, and 1 on G, here. And then you're gonna do them together. All right, so I'm going to take any questions you have about those, and then we'll go ahead and move on from there.
I feel like my brain is conflicted.
Yeah, is it the playing or the notes or what?
Well, doing two hands, and even doing the same thing at the same time, it's like my brain is like, wait a minute.
I know. Well, join the club. It does get easier, but then there's always the next thing to work on. So, but do the concepts make sense in terms of how to play the scales? We're going to get into how to play all of them. And so that'll really be wonderful to be able to practice all of these hands together. But I wanted to get your fingers moving on a couple scales that are really, really easy to play on the piano. So you can play C major to warm up. You can play G major to warm up. And the goal is to get all of these hands together because, like I said, once you can do that, then you can build all these chords that will help you play basically any song that you've ever heard. So I'm going to go ahead and hand it over to Ashley, and she's going to talk to you about major and minor and the magic formula that gives you the 5-finger scale on every key.
Great. Thanks, Stephanie. So can you put it back to slide 9, please? So we were talking about a pentascale, and a pentascale is just a 5-note scale. You'll hear pentascale and a 5-finger pattern used somewhat interchangeably. I know some of you mentioned you're using other websites and things like that. So a pentascale is the same as a 5-finger pattern. They just mean a 5-note scale. So we just played our C pentascale and our G pentascale. And now we're going to talk about how to figure out what other pentascales are. So we've talked about whole steps and half steps, and those are super important because we're going to give you a formula to help you find a major pentascale on any key. So now let's go to slide 11, and I'm going to cover half of this up simply because it's a little busy on the screen and I want to focus on one thing. So we are going to be focusing on major pentascales. So as we've talked about in classes previously, major is, at the most simple way to describe it, is a happy sound. And all of these pentascales get their name from the note that they start on. So we just did a C major pentascale because the bottom note was C. We were playing C on the bottom with our right hand and C on the bottom with our left hand. We also did a G major pentascale, and it gets its name from the bottom note, which is G. So I could ask you to play an F major scale, and that would mean that we're starting on F. I could ask you to play a G flat major pentascale, and that would mean that we are starting on G flat. And that starting note, that bottom note of the scale, is referred to as the tonic. And tonic is kind of an important word. It's used a lot in music, and it always refers to like our home base or that bottom note. So when we're building our major pentascale, we first have to know what the tonic is. So we're going to build one together on F. Okay, so we're going to build an F major pentascale. That means F is our tonic. Now, in order to build this F major pentascale, we're going to start on F, and then we're going to go up a whole step. So if you look at your piano, I'm going to show you on my piano. And actually, here we go. I'm going to spotlight this so that you can see it really easily. Okay, so this is an F right here. So we're going to go up a whole step, which means that we're going to go to G. And then the next step in the formula is a whole step. So we go up to A. The next step is a half step. So we go up to B flat. And then we want to go a whole step, which is C. So our F major pentascale is F, G, A, B flat, C. So everybody put your right hand thumb on F, and let's see if we can play that together. We're just going to go nice and slow. Our fourth finger is going to be the one that's on the B flat. So F, G, A, B flat, C. And let me just take this down. Or Stephanie, can you stop sharing for a second? Thank you. Okay, there we go. So F, G, A, B flat, C. And just to review in case you couldn't see. So we're starting with our tonic. We go up a whole step, up a whole step, up a half step, and up a whole step. So the pattern, I'm going to put it in the chat since we stopped sharing the screen, but the pattern is your tonic, which is T, and then it's whole step, half step, whole step. All right, so let's do G major, which we already did. You already know how to play it, but I'm going to show you how the half steps and whole steps work. So G is our tonic, and we go up a whole step to A, up a whole step to B, up a half step to C, and up a whole step to D. So there's that little formula. Let's do one that's a little trickier. We're going to start on E. So our tonic is going to be E. This is going to be an E major pentascale. So here's E. We're going to go up a whole step to F sharp, and then up another whole step, which isn't this note because that's a half step. So we're going to go up to G sharp, and then half step, and then whole step. So tonic, whole step, half step, whole step. Everybody, let's play that together. E, F sharp, G sharp, B, A, B. Now, as we're building these pentascales, there's something important to keep in mind, which is that we always want to make sure that we are playing with finger numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Some of these pentascales are going to have lots of sharps or lots of flats, or we might even be starting on a sharp or a flat, but we still want to play them with fingers 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Because when we start doing funky crossovers or playing every single note with one finger or things like that, it just becomes really difficult to ever get it into our muscle memory so that our brain will remember how to play them. Okay? Did everybody get E major? Give me a thumbs up if you were able to see and play E major. Okay, we're going to go on and do like 2 really challenging ones then, and I'm going to show them to you on the screen. So spotlight my hand video. All right, so we're going to go ahead and start on B. So B is right here. So I'm going to put my right hand thumb on B. Now we need to go up a whole step. If somebody would like to unmute and tell me what note would I play if I need to go up a whole step from B?
C sharp.
Thank you. And then what's up a whole step from C sharp?
D sharp.
Yes, awesome. And then up a half step from D sharp?
E.
Thank you. And then up a whole step from E?
F sharp.
Yes, Beautiful. So this is our B major pentascale. We have B, C sharp, D sharp, E, F sharp. Let's see how it sounds. Okay, let's do one more really tricky one. We're gonna start on G flat. So here's my G, and the flat is down a half step. So we're starting on the black key that's directly to the left of G. So I'm gonna put my thumb there, even though it's a little bit awkward. Now, if I'm on G flat, what note is a whole step up from G flat? If anybody wants to unmute and let me know.
A flat.
A flat, and then we need to be up a whole step from A flat as well.
B flat.
Awesome. And then up a half step.
B.
Yep. C flat. Yep. C flat. It looks like B. And then up a whole step from C flat.
D flat.
Yes. D flat. Awesome. You're doing great. So G flat major, just to review that one more time, was G flat, A flat, B flat, C flat, and D flat. And some people will say, well, why is this called C flat? Why can't I just call it B? One thing to keep in mind when we're working with scales is that we're always going to go to the next letter in the musical alphabet. We don't want to have a B flat and a B in the same scale. So that's why we have G flat, A flat, B flat, C flat, and D flat. And the other thing to keep in mind is that if we started on a flat, we're going to stay in flats. So we're not going to have like G flat, A flat, B flat, C sharp, because we're going to stay within flats, and we always want to use the very next letter of the alphabet. Okay, so those were a few of the major pentascales. Now, major has that happy sound. So you might have noticed as we were playing through these that all of these sounded pretty happy. And they all sound pretty similar. They're just starting on different notes. One more. So now we're going to talk about a minor pentascale, and the sound for a minor pentascale is a little bit different. It's going to sound somewhat sad or dark, a little bit different. And we can think of the minor pentascale as following this pattern on the right-hand side of this chart. So we have the tonic, and then we do a whole step, half step, whole step, whole step. So the middle two steps are just reversed. We've got a half step here and a whole step here. Those were reversed in the major one. Okay, now I'm going to uncover all of that so that you can see. So see how those are just reversed from each other. Another way to think about a minor pentascale is that if we're playing a major pentascale, we just have to lower the middle note by a half step. So let's do that together. I'm going to show you both ways. Stephanie, will you stop sharing the screen, please? Thank you. Okay, so let's start on C, because that one is nice. So C major is C, D, E, F, G. Now, if I'm coming from a major pentascale and I want to make it minor, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this middle note that's going to always be played by my third finger, and I'm going to lower it a half step to E flat. So now I've got C, D, E flat, F, G. Let's listen to the sound of that. Sounds a little bit different. So everybody, let's play C minor together. So go ahead and put your right hand thumb on C. We're going to lower that third finger to E flat. And let's play C, D, E flat, F, G. Now, if we're thinking about this with whole steps and half steps, we can see that C is our tonic. We go up a whole step, then we go up a half step, then up a whole step, up a whole step. So just a little bit different. Let's do the same thing on G. So we remember that G major was G, A, B, C, D. Let's go ahead and put our hand in that position. To make it minor, I'm going to take this middle note, the one that's played by my third finger, and I'm going to lower it a half step. So now it's a B flat. So everybody go ahead and play G minor with that B flat in the middle. Now I can also think about it as my tonic, whole step, half step, whole step, whole step. All right, just for time purposes, we're going to do one more minor, and we're just going to start on a random note and try to build it. So let's start on an A. And we're gonna build A minor using the pattern of whole steps and half steps. So we have our tonic, then we need a whole step. So what's a whole step up from A if someone wants to unmute?
B.
Awesome. Then we need a half step. What's a half step up from B?
C sharp.
So that would be a whole step. That would be a whole step, which would make it major. And so for minor, we're just gonna go a half step, which would be C. And then we're gonna do one more whole step and one more whole step. So A minor is A, B, C, D, E. Everybody, let's play that together. So put your right hand thumb on A. Okay. So we just covered quite a bit of information. Major and minor pentascales are awesome, but it's a lot to digest because ultimately it takes just some time to sit down at the piano and say, okay, I'm going to try building a major one on E. I'm going to try building a major one on F, and taking yourself through the different notes and following the formula and practicing building them. And if you can do that this week, then you're going to, one, feel more confident with those major and minor 5-finger pentascales. And also it'll feel less awkward to play in different areas of the piano. Okay, so really important. Does anybody have questions about anything that I just covered? Okay, give me a thumbs up if it's making sense, even if you couldn't necessarily play all of them. Give me like a medium thumbs if you're like, I'm kind of with you, but I might need to come rewatch this again. And if you have a thumbs down, I hope that you unmute and ask a question. Tracy, do you have a question? Oh, thumbs up. Okay, great. Great, a little thumb. Awesome. Well, in that case, we're going to go on to the next slide. So we're going to go on to slide 11, and we're going to talk about chords and arpeggios. And as Stephanie said, chords are awesome. Chords are the building blocks of all music. So a chord is a group of 3 or more notes sounding at the same time. Now, the beautiful, wonderful thing is that everything we just learned, you already know how to play a chord. So a chord comes from playing the bottom, middle, and top note of a 5-finger pattern. So let's go back to our C major 5-finger pattern yet again. And Steph, if you would stop sharing, then I'll spotlight again. Thank you. Oh, where am I? Oh, here we go. So we're going to go back to our C major, and we have C, D, E, F, G. That's our 5-finger pattern. Now I'm going to take that bottom note, the middle note, and the top note, 1, 3, and 5. And it would be the same fingers in your left hand as well. This is a C major chord. Okay, it's named after the pentascale, again, from that bottom note. So this is a C major chord. Let's go to our G major 5-finger pattern. So everybody find G, A, B, C, D, and we're going to play our bottom, our middle, and our top note at the same time. That is our G major chord. Now, what's really cool is that if you find your major pentascales, you can make any major chord. So if I want to know how to play an A major chord, all I have to do is find my A major pentascale and then play the bottom, middle, and top note at the same time. That's my A major chord. So once you have practiced finding your pentascales on different keys, you are also learning about the chords if you go one step further and you play the bottom, middle, and top note together at the same time. Okay, and this is very, very exciting. Now, an arpeggio is simply a broken chord, and we're not going to talk a lot about them because we'll get a chance to talk more about those later. But an arpeggio is just, instead of playing those 3 notes together at the same time, like you would up here for the chord, you're going to play them individually. So you'd play C by itself, E by itself, and G by itself. You're still playing the notes of the C major chord. You're just playing them melodically. You're playing them separately. And so it's called an arpeggio, which is Italian for broken chord. If you also look up at the slides, I did not alert you to this, but this up here, we were just talking about chords. This is what a chord looks like when you see it written on the staff. It looks like a little snow person. There's the bottom note, the middle note, and the top note. And they're stacked on top of each other like that. And a chord will always have that little snow person look to it. All right, any questions about chords or arpeggios? We will be using these a lot, so we'll have a lot more chances to go over them. Any questions? All right. You are all doing amazingly well. So I just want to, we've got about 10 minutes left. We're going to try to go over this piece at least a little bit so you can get started with it. But before we do that, I just wanted to check in. I was in the breakout rooms with everybody. I heard everybody play. You're all sounding awesome. You are all sounding amazing, and you are so on the right track. I did not hear anyone that was doing anything horrendously wrong. Everybody is really paying attention to rhythm. You all had a great sense of rhythm in the pieces that you played for me. The notes were correct. Everybody was playing with a lot of accuracy. And I think that these performances are going to go really, really well. And I just wanted to let you know, I want to encourage all of you to do it because you're all ready and it's going to be fun. And I had a couple people let me know that they're going to be out of town, so they might record videos and send them in. If there's a situation where it's between you, not like the option is not playing or sending in a video, it would be awesome if you would be willing to send in a video, because then we can still play your video for the class. You can get some comments and you can participate, and it should be a lot of fun. All right, let's take a quick look at Brahms' Lullaby. This up here on your screen is called a lead sheet. And a lead sheet is a really cool way to play music because it's like a little map. I consider it a little map. So on a lead sheet, you'll notice we have the treble clef here, and we have a melody written in our treble clef. We know that our right hand usually plays in the treble clef. And so this melody is going to be played by your right hand. Now, above the melody, you've got these little letters. There's a C right here. There's a G right here. There's a C right here. There's an F right here. There's a C right here. Hopefully you see those little letters. Those are called chord symbols. And when we see a chord symbol that is an uppercase letter all by itself, it means a major chord. And so the way that you would go about playing this piece is you would first probably learn the right hand, get really comfortable with the right hand. And then these chord symbols tell you what chords to play. So I know that here with this right hand note, I would play a C chord. And then when I get down to this measure with this right hand note, I would play a G major chord. And so on and so forth. So you can read through your melody and you can practice your melody by itself. And then you can go through, and I would maybe even work on the chords by themselves. And then you can line them up together. But you're not actually reading notes in the bass clef. You're just reading from these chord symbols. And there's a lot of really cool things that we can do with chord symbols. We can learn lots of different patterns for the left hand, and we will do a lot more of that in future weeks. But I wanted to at least show you this lead sheet so that you could investigate it a little bit on your own if you'd like to. So the chords that you need to play Brahms' Lullaby are C major, G major, and F major. And we did all three of those pentascales in class today. So if you can find those pentascales and you can play the bottom, middle, and top notes together, that's how you'll find your chords for this piece. So Steph, are you showing them right now? Yeah. So if you want to show us, I'm going to spotlight Stephanie really quick. So if you can't see Stephanie, maybe try to scroll through the gallery, or can you stop sharing, Stephanie? And then everybody will be able to see you. So our C major chord, Stephanie's going to play it for you. It's C, E, and G at the same time. And then we need our F major chord, which is F, A, and C at the same time. That's our F major chord. And then our G major chord, which is G, B, and D, all at the same time. Now, it would be a great idea to get started with a piece to just practice playing those. Just practice playing those all by themselves. Get comfortable moving around from our C chord to our F chord to our G chord, and really getting comfortable with where they are on the piano. You can also play them in different areas. So maybe play the chords really low on the piano and see how that sounds. If you play them several octaves below middle C, or the octave below middle C. And then you can do a low F chord, you can do them up high, and see what you like the sound of. And then practice your melody all by itself. So then you would just play the melody until you're feeling comfortable with that, and then go ahead and put them hands together. Now, I've had a couple questions from people in class of like how, with these pieces, if they're feeling really challenging, how to do it. And I just want to reiterate to you, we don't expect that you're going to look at these pieces and be able to play through them all the way. There's a lot going on. You have to digest the rhythm. the finger numbers, all the notes, how everything fits together. So when you're working on these pieces, please take small sections. Take the first measure or the first 2 measures and see if you can make the goal of maybe an entire day of practice just to get those first 2 measures feeling really, really comfortable. And if you can do that, next session add a 3rd or a 4th measure. You can always break it down to doing hands alone, clapping rhythm, doing 1 or 2 measures at a time so that you're doing digestible chunks and it feels doable. We never want our practice, we never want to sit down with our practice and say like, oh my gosh, I'm so overwhelmed. I don't even know where to start. Okay, I give up. Obviously, that's not what we want. So if you need to break it down into really small sections, that's a really great way to be doing your practice. Now, we could and will definitely go over those lead sheets a lot more because we ran out of time today. So we'll be doing lead sheets a little bit next week and the week after that as well. So we'll have some more time with these. But if you get the chance, go ahead and try to play the melody alone, play the chords alone, and we have some practice tips here. And then see if you can put them together and hear what this lullaby sounds like. All right, and lastly, on slide 14, we've got some homework for you. So if you can practice, at least look at the lullaby. We didn't get a chance to go over all the pieces we planned, and we didn't go over them that in depth. We go to slide 14, Steph. But practice the lullaby at least a little bit if you can look through some of it. Prepare for your performance next week, and then try to build and review some major and minor pentascales with the chords and the arpeggios, okay? We've, on the next few slides, we've written out a couple other study notes. So if you go to slide 15, you'll see we wrote out the fingerings for all of the pentascales, and we also gave you the notes. So if you're having trouble building them and you're like, I don't really remember, that was really confusing, we gave you the notes of these 3 main pentascales that we want you to practice, which are C major and minor, F major and minor, G major and minor. So if you can't build them using the formula, the answers are right here on this slide. And then the next slide is just a suggestion of all the different keys that you can build pentascales on. So when you're practicing, hopefully you are practicing those pentascales. And if they start to feel easier for you, you can start to explore some of these ones. If you can build a major and minor pentascale on all of these notes, you get like an A+++++. That's awesome if you can go through all of these, because some of these get rather complicated, but give it a try because it'll be really, really great practice. After that slide, we also included 1 bonus piece on slide 17, Canon and D, another lead sheet. This one's quite hard, and you've got some major and minor chord symbols in there. So we'll go over this a little bit in the next class. But there you have it. So our main focus for next week is the performance. We're going to be doing a little bit of review and a couple things at the beginning of class, but we're going to start the performances at 6:45. And our plan is to take the rest of class to do the performances and to have some fun, to give each other some compliments and some encouragement, and to get to know each other a little bit better. You are also welcome and encouraged to invite people if you have someone in your family or a friend that knows that you're taking this class and you want to show off a little bit or show them what you've been doing. Friends and family are welcome to support you and to make the claps even louder and give you more compliments. All right, does anybody have any questions about anything? We actually have 2 minutes for once in our lives.
I have a question for that a student had, and I wanted to make sure we had time to answer it.
Oh, sure. Will you stop sharing the screen, please?
Actually, yes, I think
or do we need to go to a slide? Oh, perfect. Okay.
The question, I think, was Melissa's, and Melissa had a question, and I'm sure you guys will maybe already know this or not, but she had a question about the stem direction and why sometimes the stem is pointing down and why sometimes the stem is pointing up. And I just wanted to quickly answer that. So stems are in the direction based off of where they are on the staff. So any notes that are on or above the 3rd line of a staff will have a stem pointing down and to the left. And this is just for ease of reading. So you'll notice any note head that's on or above the 3rd line of the bass clef or the treble clef has a stem pointing down. Because if it was sticking up and to the right, it would be hanging off the staff and be kind of hard to read. So the whole idea is that the direction of the stem, if it's pointing down, is helping us read it easier because it's on or above the 3rd line. So then you'll go down here And you'll notice that as soon as we get below the third line, the stem is pointing up and to the right. Does everybody see that? So the stem direction really has the only thing to do with the middle line, and it's just for ease of reading. You'll sometimes see down here that both of the stems are pointing up, and that's because we are connecting eighth notes, so that's like the one exception to the rule. But everything else, that's why. Does that answer your question, Melissa?
Yeah, it does.
Okay.
And when all else fails, they just try to make it as easy to read. So when you have many notes that are grouped together, like the eighth notes or notes that are smaller than that, they just try to beam them in a way that makes it easiest to read so that the beams aren't, intersecting and running into each other. Any other questions? All right. Well, you are all doing really well. It was so great to hear you today. I'm really looking forward to next week. And I know Stephanie is too. It's going to be so fun to hear each other and to play and to connect a little bit in that way. So congratulations. Nice work, everybody. And we will see you next Thursday.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.